It's the early hours of May 13th, 1862. The harbor is silent, shrouded in a pre-dawn mist. You witness a steamer quietly slip away from the harbor, but this is no ordinary departure, but a secret endeavor. At the helm is a skilled, resourceful enslaved man leading a crew of fellow enslaved individuals. Their objective? To navigate through the heavily guarded Confederate checkpoints and into open waters. So join us today while we unravel the captivating story behind the incredible life of Robert Smalls. And if you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemichistory.com. And if you like audio-only episodes, you can find them wherever you get your podcasts. But without further ado, let's get started. To truly understand this tale, it is essential to grasp the historical backdrop against which this remarkable story unfolds. The Civil War spanned from around 1861 to 1865, and it is a tumultuous period in United States history, marked by profound social and political upheaval. At the heart of this conflict was a contentious issue of slavery, a deeply entrenched institution that Southern states heavily relied on for their economic prosperity and way of life. The Southern states' sprawling plantations and agricultural economy were fueled by enslaved African Americans whose labor was indispensable to wealthy landowners. In this backdrop, Robert Smalls was born into slavery April 5th, 1839 in Beaufort, South Carolina, a place that was deeply connected to the institution of slavery. His mother, Lydia Polite, was also enslaved and tended to the fields. His father was unknown, but some think that it was Aaron McKee, the plantation owner, or his son John McKee, or the plantation manager, Robert Smalls. But despite these familial connections, Robert would receive little special treatment. As a child, Robert lived in a small cabin behind McKee House on 511 Prince Street. And initially, he was somewhat favored by the McKee family. However, his mother worried that he would not truly understand the harsh realities of slavery. So to help him grasp this, Lydia exposed Robert to the difficulties of enslaved field life, having him work alongside them and witness their punishments like whippings. This experiment stirred a sense of defiance in Robert, often leading to trouble and imprisonment. Concerned for his well-being, Lydia sent him to Charleston at the age of 12 to work as a laborer. In Charleston, Robert Smalls took various jobs, starting as a waiter at a hotel, later becoming a lamplighter. His love for the sea soon drew him to work on docks and wharfs as a longshoreman, a rigger, and a sailmaker. Eventually, he became a wheelman, a role that allowed him to gain extensive knowledge of Charleston's harbor. Although enslaved individuals were not permitted to hold the title of helmsman, Smalls was allowed to keep around $1 of his weekly earnings, and the rest had to be sent back to his enslaver. This maritime environment in Charleston profoundly influenced Smalls. The constant movement of vessels and the bustling commerce offered a glimpse of a life beyond enslavement, fueling his dreams of freedom. Through interactions with sailors of diverse backgrounds, he would gain valuable insights into navigation and the potential for a different life. Additionally, the Union blockade of Confederate harbors symbolized the promise of freedom and further inspired Robert Smalls. December 24th of 1866, Robert would marry Hannah Jones, an enslaved hotel maid. The couple would have two children, Elizabeth Lydia and Robert Jr. Smalls was determined to purchase his family's freedom, but the price of $800 was a staggering amount that he struggled to save. This goal, combined with the constant threat of family separation, only intensified his desire to escape enslavement. By 1861, he would be assigned to steer the CSS Planter, which was a lightly guarded Confederate military transport responsible for surveying waterways, delivering dispatched troops, and supplies. This role provided Smalls with intimate knowledge of Charleston's harbor, the ship's inner workings, and Confederate military signals. He gained the trust of his crew and recognized an opportunity to escape by commandeering the vessel. Smalls would meticulously devise his plan and gathered a trusted group of fellow enslaved crew members who shared the yearning for freedom, except for one dude he didn't trust, because it's always one. He planned to take the planter while the white officers were offshore, which was their custom, and then impersonate the captain, Charles C.J. Riea. Putting his plan in action, Smalls asked Riea if his family could visit, and when they arrived, he revealed the plan to them. On the night of May 12th, 1862, Smalls and his crew began their courageous endeavor. After the white officers disembarked, Smalls and the crew fired up the ship and sailed into the wharf to pick up their families. 3 crew members had pretended to escort the families back home, but they had circled back and hid on another steamer docked in North Atlantic Wharf. Early on May 13th, Smalls would implement his clever plan to sail past Confederate forts undetected, using the ship's noise and smoke as cover. It was crucial to appear that this was a routine mission and they were under the command of their usual white officers. Smalls ingeniously decided to impersonate the captain, using his mannerisms and his straw hat under the cover of darkness. He skillfully maneuvered the ship past 5 Confederate forts, including Fort Sumter and Fort Moultrie. So as they neared Fort Sumter, Smalls maintained the ship's usual path and responded to the challenge signal with the appropriate hand signs. And after a tense moment, he received the all clear, allowing him to sail past the harbor. As the planters sailed past Confederate-controlled harbor, Smalls ordered a white bedsheet be hoisted as a flag of surrender. The USS Onward, a part of the Union blockade, initially prepared to fire, but recognized the surrender signal in time. Smalls surrendered the planter along with its artillery pieces, ammunition, captain's code book, and Confederate signs, and a detailed map of mines in the Charleston harbor to the Union Navy. Upon reaching Union lines, Small and his crew were celebrated as heroes. Rear Admiral Samuel Francis DuPont praised Smalls as very intelligent and noted his superiority among those who had joined the Union lines. The information Smalls provided allowed Union forces to capture Coles Island without resistance shortly thereafter, and his daring escape not only boosted Union morale, but also became a powerful symbol of courage, challenging the perception of Black Americans' capabilities and resolve to fight for freedom. In 1862, Robert Smalls would travel to Washington, D.C. with Reverend Mansfield French to advocate for the enlistment of African-American soldiers. Their efforts helped persuade Abraham Lincoln and Secretary of War Edwin Stanton to allow Black men to serve in the Union Army. Smalls would then successfully recruit 5,000 Black soldiers. Smalls also provided essential intelligence on Confederate operations around Charleston Harbor and notably piloted the Keokuk during the Union attack on Charleston in 1863. By his own account, Smalls participated in at least 17 major battles and engagements, and in late 1863, he became the first Black captain of an Army vessel when he was appointed the captain of the planter. Recognizing his contributions, the United States Congress awarded Smalls and his crew the prize money from the planter, with his share totaling around $1,500. Following the Civil War, Robert Smalls began life as a significant political leader during the Reconstruction era. He served as a delegate in 1868 in South Carolina's Constitutional Convention. He championed public education, advocated for free compulsory school in the state's constitution, and introduced the Homestead Act and the Civil Rights Bill, and was committed to fighting for equal rights in Congress. Smalls was elected to the South Carolina House of Representatives in 1868, was a state senator in 1870, and he served 5 terms in United States House of Representatives starting in 1875. Beyond politics, he was an entrepreneur and co-ran a Freedmen's store. He owned a Beaufort Southern Standard newspaper and co-founded a railroad before passing away February 24, 1915 of malaria and diabetes. Robert Small's remarkable escape was not only a symbolized bravery and ingenuity, but also marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would reshape his life and the lives of countless others. Beyond heroic actions, Small became a powerful advocate for freedom and equality and leveraged profound prominence to influence broader social change. Post-war, Smalls continued to break down barriers, becoming a political leader, serving multiple terms in the South Carolina legislature and the House of Representatives. His life was a testament to freedom and the relentless pursuit of justice, and leaving an indelible legacy that inspires future generations to strive for equality and to believe in their potential to reshape history. Thank you. This has been One Mic Black History. I'm your host, Country Boy. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemichistory.com. Also, if you like audio-only episodes, you can find my podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast. Also, I'd like to thank all my financial contributors. Without you, none of this could be possible. I love you all, and peace.